Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's episode, which is doing a review and a fun recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 4 so far, and also the last episode, episode 8, and then also exposing some rumors and some drama around Angie, Meredith, and Monica versus her mother. But before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. So we're going to start with let's first start with Meredith versus Angie. Now, I personally, with this beef, I am team Meredith all of the way. Angie bothers me. I think that she tries too hard. She was doing the absolute most back in Palm Springs. Like, please calm down. You weren't invited. Why are you here? Why did you show up? Also, I think that later on she realizes that the real villain when it comes to the rumors about her husband and her family, that the real villain is Monica is the one who on camera said the whole rumors about Angie's husband's alleged sexuality and all of that going on. It wasn't Meredith. And if you watch what happens live when Monica, and we'll talk about this a little bit later when we get to Monica's section, but Monica admitted that the rumors she said on camera to Lisa Barlow and to Whitney did not come from Meredith. So that right there shows you it's Monica, the one who's the dirty villain, because Whitney and Lisa were talking to Monica, and they were like, oh, Meredith is threatening all these rumors. She says she knows something about the husbands. And then Monica volunteers and is like, oh, yeah, I heard those rumors too. She told me the rumors. It was about, Angie's husband is gay and he has all these boyfriends and all this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. So why did you say that rumor when you knew Meredith never said that? Because then you got on Watch What Happens Live and said you heard it from the streets and you never heard it from Meredith. Do you see how dirty that is? So if you're having a conversation about what Meredith said, why are you repeating a rumor that Meredith never said unless you want it to be really dirty and get that rumor out there yourself? So I think now Angie sees, as she's watching like we are and everything comes out, that it really wasn't Meredith who said that rumor about her husband. It was Monica, right? Can't stand Monica. Ugh. All right, now let's get back to Angie. So Sophia with an F. I don't know if you know her. I didn't know who she was. I guess she used to be the co-host on Call Her Daddy podcast until her and the girl Alexander Cooper had some falling out. But apparently, because Sophia had Meredith on her podcast, and I have the receipts, I have a little clip, but apparently Sophia said that Angie was hooking up with her ex-boyfriend because I guess Sophia is from Salt Lake City or from Utah or something like that. And I'll have the clip. I'm going to play it for you guys. And this goes to my theory. This is my conspiracy theory about Angie and her husband. I don't think he's cheating on her, and I don't think she's cheating on him. I think it's a tale as old as time, which I think a lot of these housewives have, where they are married to their husbands, but behind the scenes, they have an open marriage. Like, you can do you and I can do me, just don't get caught and just don't embarrass me. That's what I think is going on. I think they have an arrangement because when you have a 12-year-old daughter who sleeps with you and your husband every single night, again, I'm not coming after anybody's parenting style. I'll speak personally for myself. I think it's a little unhealthy to have a 12-year-old sleep in the same bed as their parents every single night. I think that's unhealthy. I think it's weird. I think it's bizarre. I'm not a child therapist. I don't have children, but I have a brain. And I think that that's weird to me. And I think that Angie and her husband were best friends and they decided to do life together. the whole is he gay boyfriends, that whole, to me, that's boring. I don't care. I don't care if people are gay. I don't care if people are straight. I don't care if people are bi or pans. I don't care if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend. I don't care about that. So that aspect of it, to me, I don't really care. Like, to me, love is love, and whoever you love is okay. But I agree with what her husband said when she was on Watch What Happens Live. He's like, it's more about not so much like the sexuality part. It's more you're saying that I am unfaithful. It's the infidelity part, because whether you cheat with a man or a woman, it's still cheating, right? But I don't think they're cheating. I think it's very similar to Kyle and Mauricio. I think it's very similar to Juan and Robin. I think it's very similar to Dorit and PK. I think it's very similar to a lot of these housewives situations that they have begun. I think it's very similar to, this might be an unpopular opinion, I think it's very similar to Jessel and Pavitt. They are two people who are best friends, decided to do life together, and they don't really care about the sexual aspect of their relationship. I personally don't have a problem with it. I think adults have the right to choose how they govern themselves, and they have the right to choose how they govern their marriages. It's their business. But I do think that both of them sort of had like a pass in their relationship. You know what I'm saying? But let's go into, and then again, why I'm more team Meredith versus Angie. I just like Meredith more than I like Angie. Angie is annoying to me. I get it. You're Greek. But that's not a personality type. When people either make, like when Ebony K. Williams made her profession, being a lawyer and being super smart, her personality doesn't land. Your religion and your ethnicity, and your nationality, that's also not a personality type. I get culture, I get sharing lifestyle, but like, I don't need to hear that you're Greek every other word. We get it. We get it. And I do think she was doing the most. And I think when Angie Kay aligned herself with Angie Harrington and that other girl, Dana, I think her name was, I thought that was really slimy and very weird to me. I felt like those groups of women thought that they should have been the ones on Real Salt Lake City, so they were doing the most. When Angie K came out and was like, "Oh, I paid $15,000 for Jen's husband's birthday party." Well, you should have. You volunteered to host the party, then host the frickin' party. If you can't afford to host the party, then don't volunteer for it. I was actually on Jen's side with that one. Like, don't volunteer to host a party for me and my family, and then on camera and on Mad Day, say I never paid you to host a party that you offered to host. And that $15,000, that was a cost to entry to get on the show, Angie, because Angie H, Angie Harrington, that girl Dana, and they were getting Heather Gay in cahoots with them too from last season, were scheming and scamming to get on the show since day one. You go back and watch the other seasons, you see them as extras in the background, crashing parties, everything. They were doing the most. So miss me with all that. But let's watch that girl, Sophia with an F, expose Angie. Okay, let's watch.
Crazy. I'm pretty sure my ex-boyfriend used to hook up with her.
No way.
Yes, way.
That's too funny.
Which is kind of crazy because I'm 31.
How old is Angie? I don't even know how old she is. I don't know her very well. That's the crazy part.
Can I tell you something crazy? I'm pretty sure my ex-boyfriend used to hook up with her.
No way.
Yes, way.
That's too funny.
Which is kind of crazy because I'm 31.
How old is Angie? I don't even know how old she is. I don't know her very well. That's the crazy part.
Can I tell you something crazy?
So yeah, Sophia with an F came out with it, and I believe her. Like, I don't think that Sophia would come out on her podcast publicly and say that Angie slept with her ex-boyfriend for no reason. Like, Sophia doesn't need to clout chase with Angie from Salt Lake City. You see what I'm saying? So I believe it. And this also goes back to when Meredith was talking to Angie and the other people, and she was like, well, that's not the rumor I heard. And Meredith gives Angie this look like the rumor I was talking about was about you, basically insinuating I've heard rumors that you were cheating on your husband, which would back up what Sophia is saying, right? Like, you want to talk about husbands, you want to talk about marriages? Well, I've heard you've been cheating on your husband. That's the tea. Because, like I said earlier, Monica said that the whole her husband gay rumor was not what Meredith was talking about, and that she never heard that from Meredith. So it begs the question, what rumor was Meredith talking about then, right? But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. Whose side are you on? Are you team Meredith? Are you team Angie? Do you believe the cheating allegations? What do you think? And who do you think was more at fault with these rumors? Do you think Meredith was more at fault, or do you think Monica was more at fault? Put it down below. All right. So with that, let's move on to our next segment. All right, so I'm going to break down this whole Monica versus her mother situation, and then we'll do more of a recap of the last episode and of the season in general. Now, this is where I stand with Monica. I don't like her. I don't think she's a fit for this. And this might be an unpopular opinion because I know there are people out there who really love Monica. But for me, even before Monica was so disrespectful to her mother, she was falling flat for me. One, I thought she came on the show way too hot, doing the absolute most. Two, I thought that it was bizarre how hard she was going for Lisa Barlow over Lisa Barlow's $60K ring. I mean, you're on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Like, that is a part of the assignment. It's to be gaudy and over the top and to be materialistic. That is legitimately the premise of the show. So for her to continue to try and shame Lisa and be like, well, you're not relatable to middle America. Well, duh, that's the whole part. That's the whole reason of the show. They're not supposed to be relatable to middle America. They're supposed to be over the top and unrelatable. That's the whole point of being a housewife, right? So to me, she really lost me there. She was doing the absolute most when it came to that. Also, I thought that Monica had fake crocodile tears. She keeps trying to project herself as this victim, especially with Heather in this last episode. You know, you could see that she would kind of like fake cry and then kind of stop and see if Heather was like buying the lie and then kind of cry again with the whole mother abandonment conversation. I don't think her mother ever abandoned her. Was her mother imperfect? Yes, we all are. I think we all have stories about my mother did this to me and it hurt me and blah, blah, blah. We all have those stories. Monica, you were not abandoned. Your mother was a single mother. She was probably a young single mother and she didn't have a lot of money and she was doing the best she could. And now you're trying to milk that for a storyline. Like, miss me with that. And the way you swore at your mother and you called her names was absolutely disgusting. And then again, to circle back to the Lisa Barlow situation, wasn't it you, Monica, like literally 2 scenes before you're going off on Lisa Barlow, crying, your fake tears to your mother who was graciously helping you with your business and your children? Don't forget that. Didn't you just say that you went to the mall or wherever you went and you bought a Louis Vuitton bag because you, quote, wanted something really nice around the ladies? Isn't that the essence of being materialistic? Putting your value and your worth in the type of bag that you own and have? And it seems like you maxed out your credit cards. If the Louis Vuitton was real, I'm not saying it was fake. Maybe it was fake, maybe it wasn't. But if it was real, seeming like you're going into debt and maxing out your credit card since you're complaining about money, but you went and bought a Louis Vuitton bag that you admitted you could not afford because you wanted to keep up with appearances. So you're going after Lisa Barlow for being upset over a $60,000 ring that her husband bought her and saying she's materialistic. I'm sorry, if I had a ring that cost $100 that my husband gave me or had any type of sentimental value to me, I would act the same way Lisa Barlow was. I would be pissed. I would be upset. I would be like, we had to turn this place upside down. I would do the same. 100% I would do the same. But you want to call her materialistic, but yet you just admitted you basically went into debt buying a Louis Vuitton bag because you wanted to fake in front of the ladies. So which one is it, Monica? You get to be materialistic and fake and phony, but Lisa Barlow, who can actually afford her stuff, you want to go after her? Is she unrelatable, or are you jealous? Or are you jealous? To me, it was giving jealousy. It was giving, I wish I could be you, but I can't. And to me, it was giving, Monica, why are you a housewife? And that question is to producers, not to Monica. I'm tired, of seeing housewives who shouldn't be housewives. I'm looking at you, Gina, from the Real Housewives of OC in your casita. And I'm not being mean. I'm not being judgy. I'm not being like any of that stuff when it comes to money at all. Trust me, I'm not. What I am saying is that I want to see women on the show who who actually have the money and who can keep up, or if they don't become bitter and nasty, like the way the women were going after Heather in the OC because Heather actually has the money. This is the thing. Either you actually have the money and you can keep up, like a Sutton, you know what I mean, or something like that. Or if you don't have the money, don't be a hater and make the show boring and toxic and dark and bad because you're jealous of the women who do have the money. It has to be one or the other. You see what I'm saying? And I actually like this season of season 4. I like season 4. I think it's good. I'm enjoying it, but I'm just calling out, the fun points for us to talk about and to, debate and have a good kiki over, because I'm enjoying this season. I'm liking Salt Lake City. I'm enjoying it. So that's kind of where I land on it. But that's the issues I have with Monica. Like, Monica to me is just literally a regular chick. Like, legit, like she could, I don't know, she could live across the street. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get the Monica appeal. And I actually don't think she's that relatable. I just think she's kind of whiny. I think she's spoiled, and I think she's a brat. You know what I'm saying? So absolute mess, absolute mess, absolute mess. Okay, what else am I missing? Okay, so when it comes to Monica versus her mother, this is where I land on this. I think that Monica's mother was embarrassed by Monica's behavior at the Easter party. I don't think that her mother was taking the other woman's side. I think she was trying to diffuse the situation, remove Monica from it. That's why she kept saying, come to the bathroom with me, come to the bathroom with me, because Monica was doing the absolute most and was an embarrassment to her. You see what I'm saying? I think that her mother wasn't abandoning her or not choosing her side. Her mother was trying to get her from not showing her butt on TV. And the way, and her mother was like, oh, I'm sorry, because she was embarrassed. Like, who wouldn't be embarrassed? Your daughter is at an Easter party with children and family, and she's cussing and she's yelling and she's fighting, and then she's disrespecting you in front of people. That is deeply embarrassing. Deeply. I would never speak to my mother that way in private, let alone public. Her mother was embarrassed, quite frankly, is really what was going on. But the mom did respond. So let's watch Monica's mom's response to last night's episode. Okay, here we go.
Hey, this is Monica's mom here to set the record straight. The story that Monica tells Heather in the new promo that dropped today is false. Monica knew the family. She was close to the family. They were our downstairs neighbors in Arizona. We lived in a condo building. They lived downstairs. We lived upstairs. Monica babysat with the boys. Monica spent time with the family. If I worked late, she would have dinner with this family. We were in the same ward building. We were friends. We were neighbors. She loved this family. She loved the mom. She loved the boys, and they loved her. I took a job in New York City. This was before Monica started school. So the plan was that Monica would stay with them in Pennsylvania while I went ahead to start my new job and look for an apartment in New York City. I could not find an apartment in my budget in a neighborhood that felt safe, with a school district that felt safe for Monica. It was decided that it was safer for Monica to stay in Pennsylvania with this family. I visited on weekends. I called every night before she went to bed. She was there for 1 semester, and then we moved back to Arizona. I don't know why Monica is telling these stories. One could say that's how she remembers it. Okay, maybe she doesn't remember me visiting her on weekends. Maybe she doesn't remember me calling every night before bed. But there is no way that she doesn't remember how much she loved this family and how close she was to them.
And we have more to discuss because there's more going on with this. First, Monica, if your mother was this horrible abandoner, abuser person, then are you also guilty of abandoning your children? Because didn't you ask your mother to watch your children while you went on girls' trips to be on this show to follow your dream? So it's okay for you to pawn your children off on your grandmother when you want to follow your dreams of being a reality star. But when your mother, who clearly clearly just got a job that she thought would benefit everybody, left you with family friends because she couldn't bring you to New York, all of a sudden you want to spin that like she abandoned you. I don't think she abandoned you for 1 second. And I feel so bad for her mother having to now be on TikTok defending herself. Because nobody is perfect and our parents do the best they can do. It sounds like to me, Monica's mom probably had her own struggles growing up, had a daughter when she was young. The father wasn't involved. She was doing the best she could. And I think it's really dirty of Monica to now and try and make that a storyline for herself, turning it on her mother. And honestly, in this last episode, I said chef's kiss to the mom for taking her car away. Because number one, Monica, you're a grown woman. You're a grown adult. If mommy can take away your car, that is a you problem, not a mommy problem. Like for me, I'm an adult. Nobody can take away my car because I own my car. You see what I'm saying? So if you are a grown woman with all this smoke for your mother, act like it. To me, you're a very ungrateful, spoiled brat. Do you know how many people wish their parents would put their credit and their name on the line to help you out with a car? There are parents out there who would not give their children anything. But you want to get up here and whine about your mother taking away your car when you're an adult? And you're damn right she should have taken away your car. You know why? Because you got up there on camera and you said to your mother, you find your own way home, and you left her there. So if I was your mother, I would do the same exact thing. You're going to get up here and have me at this people's house on camera, and you're going to leave me, and you're going to tell me to find my own way home. But then you think that tomorrow you're going to drive a car that's in my name? You've lost your mind. You've lost the plot. So I applaud Monica's mother for trying to teach her a lesson. It's ridiculous. You're an adult. If mommy can take away your car, that's on you for not having your stuff together. And you should be grateful to your mother for even going out on a limb to do that for you. And let's also not get it twisted. It also came out that I think Monica threw a shoe. This is from Reality Blurb. It says, Lisa Barlow confirmed a shoe was thrown at Angie's contentious Easter party after the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City newbie claimed Monica Garcia accidentally almost hit Angie's niece with it. During the recent episode, which didn't show the full story, according to Monica, Angie confronted her for bringing up cheating rumors about Angie's husband, Sean. After the episode aired, Monica claimed on social media that she went to the ER after falling down Angie's stairs at the party. Girl, bye. She also alleged the stairs weren't up to code, and she said Angie should pay the medical bill. Monica, are you scamming? Her stairs weren't up to code. You looked fine when you were toting your kids out into the black car. Now all of a sudden her stairs weren't up to code. Are you scamming? Are you trying to get an insurance claim? Meanwhile, Angie made her own allegation concerning the shoe throw. Amid the social media war, Lisa cryptically wrote on Twitter in a post shared by All About the Reality Housewives on Instagram that truth sets you free. When a fan asked Lisa if she would confirm that a shoe was thrown, Lisa responded, "It was thrown," and Henry was very uncomfortable. Around the same time, Monica addressed a rumor from a fan who tweeted, #fun fact, Monica's ex-husband has only one child with Monica, the second oldest. The star clapped back, "All 4 of my daughters are his. The last 3 are his biological, and he adopted my oldest. They are all his. You are a joke." Listen, paternity issues, you are the father, you aren't the father. I don't really know if I want to get into that territory because I don't think that's fair to the children, So I'm going to leave that right there. She then seemingly addressed Angie and Lisa's recent insinuations that Monica isn't being honest about her last name. Monica indicated that going off about a name change is ridiculous, though she didn't seem to deny it. So Monica has a lot to hide and a lot going on. Like, I don't know, when you come out the gate with, "I was having sex with my brother-in-law for a year and a half." When you come out the gate with, "My house was foreclosed on," but then you try, and to me, those are storylines enough. Like, let your personality and let your business be your storyline. Let the fact that you were sleeping with your brother-in-law, let the fact that you're starting over after divorce and you're trying to get your money right to take care of your kids, let your personality be your storyline. This whole trying to take down your mother to be relevant on a show is disgusting to me. I didn't like Monica from jump, and this really solidified it. You're throwing shoes at an Easter party. You're cussing your mother out in front of people. Miss me with all of this, Monica. Miss me. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I want to know what you guys think about that one. Put it down below. What do you think about Monica versus her mother and making it a storyline? I personally think Monica is immature. I think she's a brat. I think she's a big liar. I think she's jealous of Lisa. And I'm sorry, but she's too broke and mean-spirited to be a housewife. If you are a housewife and you don't have money, you need to then come with the spirit of, I want to learn, I want to have fun, I want to have a kiki. I'm tired of this spirit of, I am so jealous and I am so bitter. I want to bring down the people who I'm jealous of. I'm looking at you, OC, with Heather and Gina and Tamra and who's the other one? Who's Gina's sidekick? I can't even remember her name. Everybody on the OC except for Heather, basically, right? And so it's a mess. It's a mess. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below and be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's move on to our next subject. So our next subject is this. Let's talk about the season overall and the last episode. Now, I like this season. I'm not saying I'm in love with it, but I am enjoying it. I personally don't miss Jen Shaw. What do you guys think? Put it down below. Do you miss Jen Shaw? Do you think she should come back? Because I think she's going to get out of prison way sooner than her sentence. I think she's going to be out of prison probably fairly soon. So do you want her to come back? Should she be allowed to come back? Do you miss her? Put it down below. But I will say that it does seem almost like a caricature of a housewife show. But Housewives in general kind of feels that way. It seems like like think about the Roni reboot. It seems like each housewife knows what character or persona they want to play, and they show up not as themselves, but they show up as that character. You know, it seems very forced and like described. There's really no unique people anymore. It's like, oh, you're the pot stirrer. Oh, you're the victim. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're the single girl. Oh, you're the blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like there's no freshness. I think that's what's missing, like a new, fresh take to it. When it comes to Heather Gay, to me, Heather Gay is pretty much the same. She's just doing Heather, you know, just kind of being a bitter Betty, you know, just same old, same old, same old. So, but I will say this, when it comes to Heather Gay and the Lisa Barlow situation about Lisa's son's mission, I think Heather made it about herself, and she thought, oh, she doesn't want to talk to me because I wrote this book of like Bad Mormon. I don't think anybody really cares about your book, Heather. That's just my opinion. I think Lisa didn't want her son to go on a mission. I think that Lisa really isn't, quote, a Mormon. I think that, sure, that's what she says, but I don't think she really participates in the religion. You know what I mean? And I think that she thought her son would follow more in her footsteps, you know, go to college and build businesses. But I don't think that she realized how indoctrinated he was into this religion. You know, like all of his friends are going on missions. You know, it's like this whole thing. They were treating, you know, where you're going on your mission the same way we would treat where did you get accepted into college? You know, they said it was like a gender reveal. To me, it was more like a graduation high school / where are you going to college party, right? I don't think she realized how deep he was into it. And I think Lisa Barlow was really scared for her son. And I think that she was trying to keep it together because she said, she's like, I need to be positive. I need to be there for my son. And I think that talking to Heather, who she knows would be honest, which might be very negative. I don't think that Heather is negative. I think that Heather would say negative things, right, about it. And that would just scare her more. And that's where I really think is going on. But Heather, like a lot of times, only thinks about Heather. You know, Heather to me has a little bit of narcissism going on. She fakes like she's a people pleaser, but at the heart, she thinks she's the center of everything. And I think that's why she has such an issue with Lisa, where she couldn't actually empathize with Lisa and say, hey, maybe Lisa's actually like really scared that her son is leaving for 2 years. She won't be able to physically see him. He's only allowed to call her once a week. And I think Lisa Barlow is whatever, even though Lisa Barlow pretends like she doesn't know, I think Lisa Barlow is very aware of the issues that has happened within the Mormon church. Very aware of how it is. That's why she doesn't really practice it. I think she says she practices it. I think she could, quote, converted for her husband because he was. But I don't think she's really goes down like that. You know what I'm saying? I think she's scared. And I get it. I would be scared too if someone in my family, you know, particularly a child, is going away for 2 years and I can't see them. That's really scary, you know? And I think that she was just trying to hold on to any type of positivity that she could. Okay. Now, Whitney and Jason, are they headed for divorce? I think maybe so. I think their problems are financial. And I think once they started having finance problems, then the sex started to go away. And then once a marriage has sex and money problems, those are usually the two biggest reasons for divorce. I think they did something shady with her whole skincare line, Wild Rose. What happened to that? Is it still going on? Is it real? Where can we buy it? Does she have a TikTok shop? Like, what is going on with that? I thought she spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of their family's savings to do this big rebrand. What happened? Where's the product? You know? And Jason was a little bit too cool about that for him not to be in on them saying they used that money as a rebrand, but the truth was they used it for something else, because they are not rich enough where her basically squandering hundreds of thousands of dollars would not be catastrophic. I believe Jen Shah, because remember, it was season 2, I want to say, either season 2 or season 3 finale, when Whitney was talking about Jen Shah's legal problems and the scheme she was doing. And Jen Shah clapped back and she was like, oh yeah, well, what about all the money you allegedly spent on Wild Rose? We don't want to talk about that. And Whitney shut all the way up. So I don't know what scheme. I don't know if it's a money laundering scheme. I don't know what scheme they're doing. But in my opinion, and we already know that both Whitney and Jason work in those like MLL schemes and those pyramid schemes. That's why Jason's old company was being sued in that class action, because they were doing pyramid schemes and MLM schemes. His new company is a very similar scheme. That's why Whitney knew the exact scheme that Jen was doing on the bus, because her company does the same exact thing that she was working at when she met Jason. And that's why I think the company let him go, not because they were doing weird sexual paint body stuff, but because their company's shady dealings was being put on blast in a public way. Because if this company didn't fire you, this Mormon company in Utah didn't fire you for having an affair when both of them were married and then getting divorced and then marrying each other, if that didn't break your Mormon code, why would two married people doing paint each other on a freaking yoga mat, why would that mean you're going to get fired? Especially because season 1, they were doing booby parties. They were having the swinger parties. They were doing getting wasted in the drunk van and all of that stuff. So if everything they did on season 1 was okay, why would them doing a paint-a-thon be like, that's the straw? No. What it was is that it came out that his company was being sued in the class action, and it became public. And they talked about it at the reunion. And then once it became public, then Jason became a liability. That's why he got fired. And then his whole like, oh, I'm on a non-compete for a year. Yeah, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. So I think that, and then also, I don't know what's going on with Whitney, but last season, her whole, childhood trauma arc, and I'm going to be very sensitive about this because it's a very sensitive subject, which is why I felt sort of, and it's hard to not criticize or judge, but I guess question is more of what it is. Because I don't really believe in questioning people when they say that they've gone through things, particularly childhood trauma, and the way she said she did. I believe people like 100%. But the reason why I question Whitney is because she didn't do any follow through. She hinted at it. She threw out a lot of trigger words, but she never actually said what happened. She never gave a full story, so I felt like what she was doing was a little dangerous, to sort of hint at something so big, but not actually follow through on it. And then she would turn around and weaponize it and yell at people and go off on people. You're not being sensitive to me. I'm going through all this stuff. But it's like, but what are you going through? What are you talking about? What? So it's not that I'm criticizing someone for coming forward about their trauma, because that's a really hard thing to do. But I am questioning her story because she didn't really give us enough to truly understand what the hell she was talking about, And I think that also weighed on Justin. I think I was calling him Jason. Justin, I think his name is. Sorry if I called him Jason. Justin. Weighed on Justin because he looked just as confused as we were watching it when she was talking about it. We all were like, what are you talking about with me? Like, what? So I think once you start having problems financially in your family household, which they seem to have been having, that type of stress and that type of scrutiny can lead to, well, now we're having problems in bed, which is what she opened up about. They weren't having sex. He opened up about them not having sex. And then she's saying, you're not wearing your wedding ring. They just seem to be on very separate sides of the road. So I don't want them to get divorced. I hope they're not heading for divorce. And I also hope they're not doing this for a storyline and they're playing with their marriage. Because we've also seen Housewives do this, where they play with their marriage for a storyline. I don't know if that's happening. To me, he genuinely seems annoyed with her, and she seems genuinely dismissed. So I don't know, but I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. All right, the return of Mary Cosby. Whew, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I am not a Mary stan. I think she's really mean. I think she's a very evil, bitter, mean-spirited person. If you really listen to what she says, it's mean. And it's coming from a dark place. And I do think her church is a cult. Anytime you have an establishment, religion, whatever you want to call it, where they want you to worship the person rather than God, that is a cult. And it was very clear in all the other seasons and what we've seen that has since come out, Mary wants people to worship her. And to me, that is a cult. And all the other stuff that came out, and I stand by this, the reason why Mary did not come to the reunion was not because Mary didn't want the smoke from the other ladies, because as evil as Mary is, she can outshade them all day long. She reads them down for filth over and over and over again. She didn't come to the reunion because she didn't want the smoke about the money and her church and her, marrying her step-grandfather, people dying at her church, people leaving them their life savings, the cult allegations, things being leaked about her saying she doesn't like being around poor people and they need to give her money, and about all the other businesses that she allegedly stole from her family, all of that stuff. Mary didn't want that smoke coming out. That's why she didn't come to the reunion. And she wanted to wait until she was able to do whatever she had to do with the lawsuits against her before coming back to the show. And again, I think that's why she's a friend of, is because she wanted to be able to show up and not show up as she wanted to, depending on what was going to be happening with her legal stuff. Because Mary is a lot of things, but she's not stupid. She's not stupid. I think she clearly saw what was happening to Jen Shah, and she was like, yo, I don't want to go to Sing Sing or the Clink Clink over this reality show. That's why I think Mary left the show, and that's why I think she skipped the reunion, because that was during the time all the allegations about her and her church and her businesses and her money came out. I think Mary is really mean and really nasty. I know some people like her shade, some people like her reads. I don't find her entertaining. I don't find her funny. I think she's evil. I think she works with some dark entities. I'm not here for Mary. I'm not. It's weird. It's bizarre. I don't, ugh. With that being said, I do have to be transparent. She does, and I will admit this, she does have some good reads. She does. She had some good reads. She has some good shade, but her energy is so dark to me that I feel bad laughing at it, But I want to know what you guys think about Mary. That might be an unpopular opinion. I know a lot of people like her, but I don't know. There's just something really dark going on with Mary in my personal opinion. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to get into my theory about Heather and the phone call and all of that stuff. But let's watch a little snippet of the preview of what's coming, and then I'll get into my theory about what's going on with Heather and everybody else. Oof, 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 oof. So this is my theory. I think that they're trying to tease it that Meredith betrayed someone or Meredith brought some rumor out. But I think what really happened is I think Jen told Heather something really crazy, bombshelly, something to expose something about Monica, because I think Jen is on her get back. You know, she's super pissed that Monica is now basically took her snowflake, right? She's the one who replaced Jen. You know, I think not Angie really, right? I think she's pissed that she took her snowflake and replaced her. I think she's pissed that Monica admitted that she went to her, quote, friend who was a Fed and ratted Jen out, even though she said, yeah, they already had an ongoing, investigation into Jen Shaw, but she went and she was a witness and ratted her out to the Feds. And then she turns around and now she's on, what in Jen's mind, Jen's show, right? So I think that Jen is probably on some get all the way back. And this is what I think is going to happen. And this is just my one conspiracy theory. Put yours down below. I think Jen is going to tell Heather something very salacious and bombshelly about Monica. I think that Heather is then going to tell Meredith about what Jen said about Monica. And this is where I think it's going to come down on Meredith. I think Meredith then goes and tells Monica what Heather told her. Did you follow that? That is my theory. That's what I think is going to go down. That's what I think is going to happen. But I want to know what you guys think. And then, do you miss Jen? Do you think she should come back? And what do you guys think about this season? Are you here for it? Are you liking it? What are your thoughts on Mary coming back? Or in Monica, the newbies, Monica and Angie? What do you think about the OGs, Heather and Whitney and Lisa and Meredith? Put it down below. And what do you think this, teasing bombshell that's going to come out? What do you think that is? Who do you think the key players are in this situation? Okay. Put it down below. But before you do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. And with that, you guys, I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to come up and chat. And I'm going to take some of your candy cane questions and comments. All right. Da-da-da. Okay. Hi, Tay-Tay. Tay-Tay says, hey, Candy. Hey, sweetheart. Tay-Tay says, season 4 have been a banger. I agree. I like season 4. I'm watching it. I'm into it. I think it's great. Miss T says, hello, Candy and the Canes. Hey, sweetheart. I love your new photo. You are so gorgeous, girl. Cancer Queen says, hello. I can't stand Monica. Me either. I really cannot. I really, really cannot. Hey, Mademoiselle. She says, I love Monica. Oh, okay. That's right, you guys. All opinions are welcomed here. If I don't like someone, you can like them. If I do like someone and you don't, that's fine. All opinions are welcomed here. So shout out to Mademoiselle. What's up, sweetheart? Miss T says, I don't think that was the real rumor. I think the true rumor was something else. Right. That's what I'm saying. I think there was a bigger rumor that Meredith was referring to. And then Monica said the whole gay boyfriend rumor and then admitted that she never even heard that rumor from Meredith. So then what was the real rumor, right? Tay-Tay says Monica is cray-cray. I love it. Miss T says, I like Monica. Hey, Jacob, what's up, sweetheart?
Oh, hey, I didn't even realize that the thing said that you're in. Hi. What you said is correct, I think, when you say that it's like a caricature of a Housewives show, because I watch it, because I watch these shows now and it's almost like a stage play. I'm like, oh, wow, like you really did a good crying job there. Like, I think Monica did a pretty decent crying job this episode.
I will give her this. She can bring the tears, right. But I don't watch tears. I watch the eyes.
Oh, okay.
And her eyes, she's faking it, because she'll have the tears and then she'll kind of stop. And then if you watch the scene with her and Heather, she stops and then she looks at Heather to see if Heather's buying it.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the eyes. Monica is a big fake breaker. She is a fake and she is a phony. And I cannot wait until she gets exposed. Like, I'm on one.
Well, honestly,
Go
I
ahead.
think she and the mom are both playing us. I think the mom is on it too, because I'm just like, who acts like this? Like that mom. Okay, so this episode, I was like, what is going on? So I was definitely duped. You know, the first few episodes, the last episode when they were at that party, I was thinking like, wow, I don't know if we've seen a mom like this on these shows, where you go on the show and then you know, I mean, seemingly, I mean, I know that Bravo is very happy because these two are very polarizing. Like, you had a whole bunch of people for Monica and a whole bunch of people against her. But now I think that they're both playing us, because at first I thought that Monica like begged the mom to be on the show, because I believed the mom's Instagram post or whatever post where she was like, Monica begged me to be on and I didn't want to. And I believed that until I watched this episode, and I was like, okay, I think the mom is, I think they're both in on it. And it's similar to what you said about playing with your relationships for the show. I think they're playing with their, like, I think that just about everything that Monica and them are talking about is true. When it's like, I went to New York, or I was, you know, you were in the backseat of the car or the truck. I believe every word of that. And I believe that they both are like, yeah, we're going to bring this up and we're going to get on this show. I think they're both in on it.
I think they're both in on it to a certain extent. I think that the mom was like, yeah, I'll come on the show with you. You know, we'll do it. But I think Monica, I think the mother gave her an inch and Monica took a yard. Is that the saying? You know what I'm saying? Where I think Monica, like, she took it too far. And I think the mother was kind of like, wait a minute. Yes, I was up for the okie doke. Let's get this money. We can be on the show. But now all of a sudden you're talking about me hooking up with the guy and you're my child in the back seat and you're yelling and you're throwing shoes and you're leaving me at places. Like, I think Monica took it too far.
Right. I think the mom probably thought that they would have civil conversations about it. But I think that Monica has turned it up, and I don't think the mom was expecting Monica to portray such hurt and upsetness. And I think that potentially the mom might have thought maybe they talk. They probably have discussed this at length in the past. That's what I'm assuming. And I think that the mom said, yeah, we can bring it up on the show. But I don't think the mom thought it was going to be brought up like this. I don't think she thought that it was going to be like this.
Exactly.
What a mess. But didn't the mom say, like, the story that she said on her Twitter or something, that the story that Monica told is untrue? Isn't that what the mom said?
Yeah. We played her response.
The video,
yeah.
Right.
So the mom said it was untrue. That, like, the way Monica replayed the story wasn't true. That, like, yeah, she went to New York, but it was like she needed, you know, she went for a job.
It was for work.
It was for work, and she couldn't find, you know, safe housing, which is true. New York City has always been notoriously very expensive. And I don't know what Monica mom does, but it doesn't seem like she's working some corporate job where she can make all this money to have a safe place for Monica to live. And the reason why I was like, Monica, you're a hypocrite and you really need to keep your mother's name out your mouth is you want to go up here and, like, talk about your mom for going to New York, trying to make a better, you know, life for you and for her and her child, and she left her with her friends because as a single mom, maybe those were the only people she had for support. And then talking about, to chase her dream in New York. But yet last episode, didn't you leave your children with your allegedly abusive abandonment mother to chase your dreams, to go on a girl trip, to be on a reality TV show? So make it make sense, Monica. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the hypocrisy for me.
Yeah, they really are doing the same thing, huh?
They're doing the same exact. I actually think, I don't think either one of them, but that's the thing though, I don't think either one of them did anything wrong. I don't think it's
Right.
wrong to say, hey, mom, can you watch my kids? I have this amazing opportunity. I want to be on the show. We need to go on girls' trips. I'm a single mom now. Cool. And I don't think her mother did anything wrong. I'm a single mom. I got this job to make more money. It's not safe for me to bring you yet. I'm going to leave you with people who I know are safe until I can set us up so I can then send for you. I don't think that's wrong either. What I think is wrong is Monica trying to now spin the narrative to create a storyline for herself to make her the victim. That's what I think is wrong. And I feel bad for her mom because now her mom is on TikTok looking crazy, talking about, I don't know why Monica would say this. She begged me to be on the show. Like, I agree with you. I think they were in it together, but then Monica took it way too far. And now the mom is like, wait a minute, this isn't what I signed up for.
That's insane. Because now what are you going to do with your mom?
Because now what are you going to do? And you can also see it too, because if you go back and watch the episode between Heather and Monica, and this is why Monica is so fake and phony, Heather went first. She told a story about how she felt abandoned by her mother after, leaving the church and being divorced. And then Monica, with her narcissistic self, just parroted back what Heather said. Oh, my mother abandoned me too. It was my abandonment wound. She went off to do this, and my father abandoned me at 4, and she abandoned me at 12. And I'm like, that's why I was just like, girl, you lying. You are totally exaggerating this story because you showed your butt at the Easter party. You disrespected your mother. You threw a shoe and it almost hit a child at the thing. It almost hit Angie's niece and Lisa's son, Henry. You threw a shoe, you cussed out your mother, you stranded her at the party, and you showed your butt, and you were looking all the way crazy. And now you're trying to create a story to cover up your crazy, and you're throwing your mother under the bus for it. See?
No, I get it. I think it's crazy. I think it's interesting how she's been able to, she's done a good job at the spin. Like, she's done such a good job, because I think so many people are on this girl's side and they're like, oh, I hate that mom and da-da-da. And I'm just like, but what mom would, I don't know. In my head, I'm just like, what mom would really do? Like, most moms don't do that, right? And if you did, without some type of really good defense, do you get on a show? I don't know.
And that's the thing. It's like, if Monica is like, my mother was so abusive and abandoned me and was so horrible, then why did you beg her to be on the show?
Well, maybe at 12 she thought it was horrible. And
right.
but again, that's what we've been saying, right? Maybe then you didn't understand it. I'm sure she does now, and
she definitely understands now. And that's what the mother said at the dinner. She was like, well, when do you forgive me? When do you let this go? She's like, I made mistakes. I did my best. I was trying. Like, when do you let this go? And the thing is, Monica should understand, she was having sex with her brother-in-law for a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? Her house got foreclosed on, and I'm not shaming her for money problems, because, I want that karma on me. So I'm not shaming anybody for that. But it's like, you've clearly yourself have made some effed up mistakes. So why are you acting like, exactly, life happens. If anything, you should be like, wow, mom, I get how hard being a single mom is, when you don't have the financial support of the father or the husband. Now I look back and see you're doing the best you could. Yeah. Instead of now trying to villainize her mother and for a storyline and for empathy because she showed her butt at the Easter party. Because that's what I'm saying. Her whole "my mother abandoned me" stuff, to me, that was nothing but, I realized I overstepped, and now I'm trying to become the victim so these girls don't cancel me. Because all the women were like, I would never speak to my mother that way.
Right, true.
They all were. They were like, excuse me, miss, and throwing a shoe at a family party? Like I don't know what they're called in Greek, but like the rabbi pastor was there. You know what I mean? So it's
rabbi.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? Like, the kids were like, even the daughter was like, what about the Easter egg hunt? And she's like, what about the Easter egg hunt? Like, she was like, wait, mommy, why are we leaving? I want some eggs. And she
Oh
showed
my
her
God.
butt. And I'm like, Monica, you need to stop. And then when she went after my favorite Lisa Barlow over a 60,000 ring, I was like, now you're really doing too much.
Oh my God.
Now you're really doing too much. Because it was like 2 scenes ago, you were, again, with your crocodile tears, talking about how you maxed out your credit card going in debt, buying fake Louis Vuitton bags because you're trying to keep up with these women. But
I
yet
didn't
you
think those were real tears.
no.
I didn't think those
I
were.
went and I bought a bag. Like, okay. And I'm kind of like, and I stand by this. If you don't have the money and you want to be on a show like this, you need to be more like a Bethany, where it's you're not hating on the people who have the money. You are using the platform to get your own money. You know,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
giving very OC, Gina, all the ladies hating on Heather. It's like, this is the real housewives. This isn't the real broke Bettys. You know what I'm saying?
Lord.
Hey,
True,
Natasha.
true.
Hey, oh my God, I'm laughing. I love how fired up you are about this.
I know.
I love a feisty Candy.
Fired up. I could talk about this stuff like literally all day. I was thinking about that
It's just
today.
fascinating. And it's like fun to analyze these people.
It's so fun. I was thinking about that today when I was putting together like the slideshows and everything. I was like, I can't believe I get paid to do this. This is so much fun.
Mhm.
You're like, yay! As we're crying.
It's so fun. You want to
Yeah.
sound off?
Yeah, I agree with naturally the both of you. I actually didn't see, I don't know. I guess I was watching it and I was like kind of confused. I was kind of left like I didn't know what to think with it because of just like, although like those are some real issues, but things seemed a little off for sure. And like the fact that it came out that she was begging her mom to be allegedly on the show. For me, that just proves that this like contention between them was pre-planned to be exploited for a storyline. And like, I think like you guys said that although they had planned to kind of showcase, you know, her so like to exploit her childhood trauma, so-called, for the storyline, that they clearly didn't, the mom was not aware that she was going to throw in this extra like side story and go as far as she did. Because like you can tell, like even like her mom's responses, like you're watching when they're sitting at that dinner. One, I felt bad for like that waiter guy. I was just thinking that the whole time.
He was like he wanted to cry.
Right? He was like, God, I'm not getting paid enough for this.
He was like, do you
You
guys
know,
want
he said that in like the service station. But like the way she was responding, it just seemed up. She's like, you're a mother effer. Like it was just like, what?
Well, I think
And-
that was more so her being like,
I know, that's what I was
okay,
gonna
I don't
say.
think- oh, right. Okay.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Yeah. I think that was it because it wasn't a response for what was happening. To me, it makes sense because that's an appropriate response to what y'all are saying when Monica has just been taking this way too far and neither of them planned on her to throw in this extra story about abandonment and doing all this where it really is just dragging her mom through the mud. She's like, I came on for this, but this is too much. Now you're just like literally making me out to be this terrible person in front of all of America and the world.
Right. Like, I think if Monica hadn't showed her butt at the Easter party the way she did, I don't think this whole my mother abandoned me storyline would have ever came out.
Because you know what it is?
She only did that to cover up. And that's why the mom at the dinner was like, I have a headache. What are you talking about? Where's the
I don't
Tylenol?
know.
What's going on? Because I think they were in cahoots prior to
Yeah.
Yes.
But you know what it is, though? It's because Monica has that kind of energy, that desperation kind of energy, which always makes me uneasy because you never know what those kind of people are going to do because they're willing to cross a lot of lines that normally you and I wouldn't do because they have that like desperate, like I'll do anything kind of energy.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's hard to trust to be around those kind of people. And she has that energy for me. And so that's why, like, I'm not shocked that she did that. And her mom's like, whoa, 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 this was not part of the plan. Like, what are you doing? And Monica's just sitting there going with it.
Exactly.
I think Monica would have made it more contentious without that Easter party. I think that she would have tried to do it at some other event. And I think that I think this was her plan all along. The original plan was, yes, Mom, we're going to discuss how this happened and how I learned from you. And it was going to be a nice, rosy story. And then the cameras go up. And I don't know. Yes, it happened at the Easter party. But if it didn't happen there, it would have been maybe at that
Eventually.
event that we're going to watch next week. Or something. It would have happened somewhere where something ridiculous was going to happen between the two of them. And Monica didn't tell her poor mom that.
Yeah, she
agree.
didn't fill her in.
I agree. I think the mom also got the okie doke. That's why she was so shocked at what was going on. And let's go back to Deb's comment, because I agree. Deb says, "Look to me like her mom loves her, trying to stop her from making a scene at an Easter party." I agree with that, and we touched on that earlier. In this live, I agree 100%. I don't think, and again, because Monica's narrative changed to cover up for how much she was a fool. Oh, her mother, you're not picking my side. Why are you defending these people? Her mother wasn't defending anybody. Her mother wasn't picking anybody else's side. Her mother was embarrassed for herself and her daughter. And her mother was trying to stop her from making a bigger fool of herself. That's why she came over and she was like, Monica. It was like a mom talking to a toddler in the grocery store, like, baby, if you don't girl,
let's
or
not make a scene, and we're in the grocery store.
Like somebody about to pop off at like church, and you use a church voice, and you're like, okay, sweetheart, like, let's go to the bathroom, like, not today. You know what I mean? Her mother was trying to protect her. Like, you're about to pop off. You're looking like a fool. You're embarrassing me and yourself. And then when she went over to everybody and she was like, I'm so sorry, like, she was apologizing because she was embarrassed. Like, not only was Monica's actions in general embarrassing, but can you imagine being a mother and being that publicly disrespected and cussed out by your child in public?
The most in front of strangers and on national TV. That is outrageously humiliating.
And then Monica had the audacity to turn around and said, you need to find your own way home. And then she leaves her mother at the party after she cussed her mother out on camera in front of all of these people. How embarrassing.
I would just crawl into a hole.
How embarrassing. The mother was embarrassed. She wasn't trying to defend Monica or defend anybody else. She was being like, okay, sweetheart, you've taken this too far. Let's go in the bathroom. Let's cool down. And Monica, to me, is a spoiled brat. I think she's a very immature. I think she's a bitter Betty. I think she's a broke Betty. I think she's a spoiled brat. I think she played her mother. I believe every word her mother said. She begged her to be on the show. The mom didn't think it was going to go all the way this left. And Monica is willing to throw anybody and anyone under the bus for what she's chasing, which is money and fame.
Oh, I believe that 100%. And I love to watch it because I think she is doing it well. I think she's doing it well. Listen, she is coming off as the one to root for. If you ask me, not that I'm necessarily rooting for her because I truly do believe that this whole thing, that it was somewhat an act and she took it too far. I believe that. But it is fun for me, and and I'm just like, okay, Monica, this is how you want to do it. You go right ahead. I don't think we're gonna see this mom next season. I don't think we're gonna see her next season.
Monica has abandonment issues, and she needs therapy, not to humiliate her mother. Like, this isn't a proper payback. Like, you know what I mean? That's very toxic of her to see this as some kind of payback. Oh, I'm going to humiliate you in front of the world. No, girl, get therapy if you feel this kind of way. Like, and then getting, like, I'm sorry, throwing items is violence. And it shows that she clearly probably did really get along with Jen.
And I think I agree with you, Natasha. And then to Jacob's point, I agree with you as well. Like, I see through Monica for who she is, but you're right. The majority of this live has all been Monica, 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 Monica. So you're right. From a strategic standpoint, she is working the system because she's inserted herself in basically everybody's business. And now she's done this whole thing with her mother. She's giving us something to talk about.
Yeah, they have no
So
choice
you're
but to
right.
bring this girl back. She has to come back. Like,
You're right with that one.
There's no way.
I want to know what you guys think. I shared my theory on what I think is going to go down with the infamous Heather on the phone.
Okay, can
What
you
do
say that
guys-
one more time really quickly? Because like I was like trying to follow you, like, and this and that, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Okay, I'll give you my theory one more time. So, all right, this is what I think is going to happen. Do you guys want to watch the little promo again?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Okay. So, Okay, so this is my theory on what happened. I think that they are teasing it like Meredith finally told some rumor that she finally was, with the whole like, oh,
Yeah, that's
you
what they're
might as well do
insinuating.
it, blah, 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 blah. I think they're teasing it as if Meredith did some huge betrayal. But this is what I think actually happened. I think Jen Shaw is on her get back with Monica because Monica got the snowflake. Monica rolled on her with the feds, went to the feds and said, hey, this chick just told me about a fraud scheme. Monica was going to be a witness in her case. And now Monica is on the show, basically replacing her, right? I think Jen Shaw is very vindictive and is on her get back. I think Jen told something very explosive about Monica or something Monica did, whatever, something to do with Monica to Heather. Heather then freaks out. I think Heather then tells Meredith. And this is where I think Meredith comes into the situation. I think either Meredith said something to Monica, which then makes Heather say, why did you do this? Like I was going to tell or something like that. Or Heather does something else around Monica, Angie, or something like that. But I think the explosive thing is that Jen is going to tell Heather something about Monica, and then Meredith carries the bone back to the group in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Going to happen. What do you guys think?
So you're saying, just to sum up, you're saying, so Jen in a vengeance is told Heather one of Monica's like skeletons.
Right.
And then Heather decides to tell Meredith. And then in some way or form, Meredith reveals this to Monica and then she flips out.
Right. And Heather wanted to be the one to tell it or do whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Heather's mad when she's like, this is all coming out because you said something to Monica.
Right.
Because it's probably pretty devastating and it's not something you probably want on TV. And she's like, the only reason.
I don't think it's about devastating on TV. I think that Heather wanted to control the narrative. And I think
she is a control freak when it comes to plot.
Yeah, and I think she's going to be pissed that Meredith spilled the beans before she could.
See, that's why Heather's the worst. Like, listen to that.
I actually like Heather. Actually, I like Heather.
Heather, I'm not gonna lie, is better this season than ever before.
Yeah,
because the past seasons, I'm sorry, she was excruciating. Was not a fan. The narcissism was always flying for me. However,
I like more that after she separated from Whitney and Whitney got to be herself and Heather got to be herself, I liked Heather a lot more because there are duos, in my opinion, that I love. Like I love Lisa and Meredith as a duo, but Heather and Whitney as a duo, when they were bad weather, they sucked.
Because Whitney ends up being like an aggressive flying monkey for Heather.
No, because what happens is they do the Gina and Emily, again, a duo that sucks.
From hell.
From hell. It's when you see two duos get together and they create things. They just assume people said this or this happened. And then this is what pisses me off. Then they go and regurgitate it as if it were fact, when it's really just something they made up in their heads. And
like it's a theory they came up with.
Do that all the time on the OC. That's why they're always getting in trouble and they're always talking out of their butts and they're always getting proven wrong. Gina and Emily did it, and then Bad Weather did it. Heather and Whitney, they would always do that. They would sit around, conjure up situations, and then they would go feed it to the other women as if it were fact, and then the other woman would be fighting.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, whatever Jen, because I do believe that Jen is on the phone, and whatever she says, I'm
She has a lot
wondering
of
if
time
it's
for the
even
phone.
true. I don't even know if it's going to be true. I'm wondering, like, what could she really have to say about Monica? Because I believe that if it is Jen on the phone, and if it is a secret about Monica, I don't know what it could be. Like, what?
That's what I
I
mean,
don't
because
know.
like she's been pretty upfront about things. I mean, immediately talking about what she did with her brother-in-law.
Yeah, she's
That's
been
pretty
upfront about stuff
scandalous.
that people would normally hide on these shows.
And
So
my
I
thing
don't
is,
know.
and my thing in general, like, and this is not to be judgy, but for me, Monica didn't really express any like real remorse for that. She's like, it happened. Sorry. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
And
Monica is a spoiled brat. She's a spoiled
and
brat. Yeah.
and if you're willing to betray your family like that, like your morals are not up to par for me.
Yeah. But you also know how, well, in my opinion, another reason why I came to this theory is if you watch now in current interviews with the women, like I watched like Lisa last night, right? She was on Watch What Happens Live. And one of the questions that Andy was asking was like, you know, who has the most to hide? Who has the most secrets? And she's like, Monica. Like, who do you talk to the least? Monica. Same thing with Meredith. Even Angie, when Monica was on Watch What Happens Live.
So
Angie,
she's on the outs.
Well, none of them talked to her
Exactly.
because remember that Instagram post or something when
Yep.
the season wrapped filming, and it was like someone speculated. I don't know who said it, but they were like, I've heard that only one person is talking to Monica at the end of filming.
Right.
So perhaps
And
the
it's
secret
probably
that
Mary.
Jen reveals. Perhaps the secret that Jen reveals is like, I don't know, maybe Monica, it has to do with the other ladies. Maybe she studied them, or maybe she said something like, you know, Monica planned on bringing up this about you and this about Lisa and this about Whitney. Yep. That's all I can really assume, because what the hell else could it be? Because it has to be about the other ladies, and then they all confront her, and by the end of the season, everyone hates her, right?
Exactly. Like, I think that it's not necessarily something about Monica's past. I think it's something that Monica either did or participated in that
with Jen
affects the other ladies, that actually affects the group. And that's why they get so pissed. I don't think it's just like, oh, Monica cheated or she doesn't have any money. We already know that. So it's like, it has to be something she did or participated in that affects the group as a whole. You know, I think something like that comes out, because to me, Monica is just so fake and so phony, and she's a liar, and she's clearly conniving, and she studied on how to be a housewife villain, and she came on to do that job.
You know, I've been trying to find her testimony for the longest. And I can't find it because they had over 1 million pages of documents against Jen, so there's no way I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, that's
I'm so mad.
I
want to know what she said specifically.
Right? So I think it's gonna be juicy, but I think that's what's going on in the trailer. And I think they're trying to do a red herring with Meredith. I think Meredith is gonna be sort of like ancillary to it. I don't think because Meredith doesn't play that game. Meredith will never, she's like a Lisa Vanderpump, sniper from the side. She's never going to get her hands directly dirty. And I love her for it. She's flawless. She's a lawyer. She knows what she's doing. She will say exactly enough for somebody else to
that is true,
without her ever being actually accountable for it, because she's like, well, I never said what the rumor was. I didn't say that.
She's such a lawyer. That's so true.
She's very strategic. So this whole like, oh, well, if you're being blamed for something, you might as well do it. I think, again, that's a bit of an act. And I think she's probably talking about something else that's going to come out. But Meredith isn't stupid. She knows how to play the game. I don't think that she's going to come out with some huge betrayal. Also, because on Watch What Happens Live last night, Lisa said that her and Meredith are in a really good place. Like, they're texting and they're talking and they're calling and they're in a really good spot. So I don't see why, if the bombshell is Meredith did something crazy, how come the whole cast isn't talking to Monica, but Lisa and Meredith are back being friends?
Yeah, clearly the clue is We have to look at the results. And the results is everyone is mad at Monica, not Meredith.
And not Meredith. Exactly.
Or
And
Heather.
then-
So clearly, yeah.
Or Heather. And that's why you see in the premiere, Heather says to, what's her name? Meredith, she goes, all this is happening because of what you told Monica. And then prior to that, you see Lisa following Monica into the bathroom where she's like crying and breaking down. And Lisa says, well, why would she do this to you? Who's the she? It must be Jen.
Right.
Why would Jen do this to you? Right? See, I'm telling. Ooh, I hope I'm right. I really hope I'm right.
but she would know what she did, because hadn't she already revealed that she's the one who turned Jen in? So
Well,
there shouldn't
Jen
be
would've known
surprise if
already.
Jen's being vindictive. Like if someone told me that, hi, I turned someone in, and then I come to find out down the road they did something to me, I wouldn't be like, why would she do this to you? Like, we know why she's doing that to you.
But in the moment, I don't think that Lisa would be like, oh, wow, well, Jen is just getting back at you because you were a witness in the fight. Like in the moment when it's going down, it's almost
That's true.
playing.
She
You know
can
what I
kind of
mean?
play like
She's
aloof
not
in
going to
those
sit there and
moments.
be like, let's have a Candy Washington PowerPoint presentation. You know,
Hold
like,
on, let's get the facts, girl.
Like in the moment, she's gonna be like, "What
Bulletproof
the hell? Like, what happened? Why would she's doing this to you?" You know, she's crying and stuff. So I definitely think the bombshell is going to be something exposing Monica for something.
I will. Can I just point out though that like Meredith, she can be so insufferable with her dramatic like pauses. When she was talking about how she feared for her life in that snowbank, it like sent me. I like couldn't handle it.
I believe
was
her.
I was like, this.
Me too.
I think
that was
I was like,
scary.
this lady is, she's so over the top, and like the quiver in her voice every single time.
Oh, I know, she's always crying about it. I was like, oh.
I was scared for my life. Like it's just like the way she pronounces the words. It's so over the top.
I know, yeah.
Yeah,
I love you, but like, come on,
I like
you're killing
Meredith,
me.
but I believe her, and like honestly, I probably would have been scared too. Like if I'm on a canyon and it's like snowy and somebody loses control on the wheel and you're actually in the car, I would be scared too.
I think the producer's just playing
Can you
her.
imagine? And Whitney's just driving by, and you're like in a snowbank, and she's like, "See ya, girl.
Yeah,
have a good night." Waving out the window. Just kidding.
Yeah,
that's a mess. You know what I thought very? I found the mission trip scene to be very interesting.
Yeah, same.
Because I was like, what are we doing here? I thought it was very interesting. And what you said is very true when you were like, you know, it's how it's treated as like a celebration. Because did you see the way that his friend dapped him up at the end? Like that was like, if they were old enough, they would be doing 10 shots after finding out this trip. Like they'd be celebrating, like really celebrating. I was like, wow. Wow. I was just like, wow.
And you could tell that Lisa is really like scared but when you think about for any mother too, I would be scared too. Because think about it, when your kid is like 18, has been in your house all the time, you're scared for them to go to college, but you still get to see them. You still get to call them. You can drive up, visit anytime, really. This is a place, she's going to a third world country where there are some dangerous spots. Let's be honest. At times
is like, the gangs run that mess. So I'm like,
and your 18-year-old son that you're not allowed to speak to on a regular basis is going there. That's any mother's nightmare.
As soon as she said that, as soon as they said that he's going to Bogota, I was like, is he going to come back? And then it cuts right to the scene where Lisa's like, yeah, you know, I know a friend and her son had a gun drawn on her. I was just like, what? Like, because they are prime targets, because they wear that ugly uniform all the time. Everyone knows who they are.
Khaki pants,
not local. Everyone knows they're not local, so they're the perfect target.
They're like,
no.
I'd be scared that they'd be held like kidnapped for ransom.
Right.
God forbid.
Especially being on this show.
They're on a show. Oh, that's actually really good point. And now I'm kind of fearful. I'm actually genuinely fearful. I didn't realize that until you said it just now. That was a terrible, terrible thing to say, because now his safety is genuinely at risk.
I think that's insanity. I think it's insane. I wasn't sure if they were necessarily allowed by the church to say where he was going, but
I don't
even
think
if
they should
were,
have.
right. Even if they were,
I
I would
just for like
never
safety
thought.
reasons, they should never have said that. That's insane.
Because
Your mom's flashing rings and blah blah blah, and you're just young
Right.
boy going, and you don't think that someone's gonna see that? That's insane. They know your parents have money. Like that's insane.
Maybe they're throwing us off. Maybe he's lying. I don't know.
Maybe they're lying. That would be amazing if they were
I don't
lying.
think
I
so,
hope they're
though.
smart
I
enough to
don't
do
think
that.
so, though.
Either way, let's all say a little prayer for him because that's really awful.
I'd be real scared. I don't know. But yeah, everybody was there, and they were all like, there was so many people, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow.
You want to hear something funny?
Oh,
I have this memory of me growing up, and they came to our door, and
the Mormons?
only my mom pulled the reversal because she's like she'll talk your ear off.
Oh no.
And she tried to get them to be Catholic. And I just remember I was like 15 and I was like late. Or no, I was 16 because I could drive. And I was like late for practice. I was running out and I was like, oh my God, they're still here. And my mom had like a photo album out and a Bible. And they were like,
my goodness.
They looked over like, help me. And I was like, gotta go.
I just can't. Those Mormons, it's insanity how you're going to go to a place where I'm pretty sure it's Catholic in Colombia. So I'm just like, you don't even speak Spanish. That's another thing.
That's another thing.
She said they had to speak Chinese. What? Remember they had to speak Chinese?
This boy's in danger.
In the confessional, she was like, yeah, they're going here and here, and they can only speak Chinese.
Chinese?
What?
In the confessional, remember? She said, yeah, some of his...
I don't remember.
I don't remember that at all, because that's outrageous.
She said some of the friends were going to Ireland, some of them were going to other places, and they had to speak... No, this was on Watch What Happens Live. Sorry. This was on Watch What Happens
I was going to say.
It was on Watch What Happens Live, and she talked about how they had to go and speak Chinese, and it was like to be of service. And I'm confused. I'm like, you're going to Ireland to minister to Chinese people? watch the Watch What Happens Live episode.
Oh,
I need to. I am actually backed up right now. I need to finish Winter House too, but I love a good backup because then I'm like, yes.
Boring.
I didn't bother this season or last.
I'm giving it a chance. It's only the second episode, but after 3 is usually my threshold.
It's really boring. It's too many people. Like, it's just too much of a hodgepodge. Like, let's do Below Deck. Let's do Winter House. Let's do Vanderpump. Let's do Summer House. It's just, let's do and
none of these people are really going to see each other again. Like, it made sense if it was like Southern Charm in New York because they're on the same coast.
I don't care if they see each other again. That's fine. But it's like, it's just too much of a hodgepodge, and everybody there is just boring to me. It's like, it's very flat. I'll put it this way. It's very flat. And that girl, Jordan, I'm like, Jordan, I'm so tired of
Did you watch Martha's Vineyard? Because she was the drama on Martha's Vineyard.
She was the drama, but I was also kind of like, girl, bye.
She brought it on herself. I was just like,
she
girl.
did.
And I did Google her, and I did see all her in her naked glory. I was like, all right, Jordan.
I didn't realize being Playboy bunnies was such a thing. Like, all of the girls were like, yeah, we were Playboy bunnies.
That's where we met.
This is like,
I was very confused. I was very confused because I was like, I've never heard of that place. Natasha, have you ever heard of that place? It's supposed to be in like meatpacking or something. Did you ever hear of that place?
Wait, they weren't in California? They were in New York?
No, they were in New York, Natasha. They all
I've never heard of that. I've never heard. I just assumed that they were in California.
So I looked up that place, and I guess it used to be really huge, like in the 70s and 80s, and then it got brought back shortly before the shutdowns, and then
maybe it was the last chance to try to, like, when they were trying to revive it, like modernize it or something. I don't know.
I was just very confused. I was like, I never heard of that place. I never knew such a place existed.
Yeah,
I to the point where I just assumed, didn't even ask questions, that they were in California.
Right, because it sounds like a California thing. Is that
like, oh, Playboy. Yeah, you were in California. I didn't even think anything else.
No, they were in New York.
Lord.
But is the main couple divorced yet? Because that was some toxic.
Oh, yeah,
that was bad.
Well, he's off. I don't know if he's back yet. He has to go on deployment, right?
Oh,
wow.
shit. I didn't know he was still active. I
thoughts
thought
and
he
prayers.
was.
I was just like,
Yeah,
they're not going to make it because
Ew,
their whole
those sex
relationship.
scenes were like that was hard, like to watch.
But their whole
It was like
relationship,
too
they got to know
much.
each other during Corona, so he
Mhm.
doesn't know her friends and her life before
He's like,
him.
I
'cause
know. He's like,
he
you
seemed
did
shocked.
what?
He was shocked. He was like, "Who is this girl?" And I said, "Oh, this is bad."
Because
Very
that's what
bad.
happens when you don't represent yourself authentically and you like try to get a husband and you're like only
I think
show
it's
him
what
this like
happens when you get married too fast.
Yeah, they can marry
yeah, that
somebody new.
too.
Because the truth is, everybody is their representative in the beginning. That's why it's called the honeymoon period. So I don't even think that she was misrepresenting herself. I think she was representing herself as the version of herself she wanted to be for her husband.
Right. They only gave
problem
it a good
was-
season, so that's all
The
they saw.
problem, no, not the season. I mean, like their marriage. The problem is they didn't take long enough to really learn each other because he was also a representative. I don't think she realized how controlling and psycho he was going to be either.
Right.
I
No,
think
when I
they
say-
both were,
When I say season, I mean like metaphorically. Like
Oh.
you're like, no. No, you're like, no. I was like, damn it, that got missed.
I only speak Bravo, so season is
Yeah,
like
I meant like like a good season, a bad season, like
Mhm.
they were only in the honeymoon stage, so that was only a good season. And they say you're supposed to like see the bad season too, so you can know. And
Mhm.
because they were only in this like cozy bubble of the panorama, like they're like, let's get married. Yes, let's do this. We don't know where this world's going, and all of a sudden the world's back, and they're like, oh. Real world starts, and wait, you have all this past life. Maybe to her benefit, because it was so fast, maybe she didn't get to that part yet. Like, who knows?
Oh my.
But
I don't see them lasting at all.
It's not gonna last.
it's gonna they're gonna have to have serious therapy, or I don't know.
They need to sign the divorce papers right now and save them all a bunch of trouble. I'm sorry.
Basically,
It's not gonna work.
It's not. Gonna
But back to this show.
Yes.
Mary gotta go. Mary gotta go. I was
Thank
like, Mary.
you.
And,
Yeah, I
I mean,
100 everything you said. Like literally, I was typing and I kind of did right as you were saying it. Like I felt like you were inside my mind when you said, "Well, I gotta admit, she does have some good reads." Because I was literally typing, "I will admit," and I do have a guilt toward that as well. Like as soon as you said that, I was like, "I have a guilt that she does make me laugh," and I don't like that.
She's funny, but she is the creepiest housewife. Honestly,
Mhm.
one of the creepiest ever. I don't know.
We gotta
if
stop
she's
playing
creepier.
denial with her. Yeah.
I don't know if Diana or her is creepier, honestly, because they both are very creepy. Because have you ever read her court documents? It's
Ooh.
creepy.
No.
She's creepy.
Regarding against some of the people in her congregation, or
Well, no, how her mother has been suing her and her husband for the longest.
oh
the money.
yeah.
Wow.
It's
Shout out to
creepy.
Jasmine Brown. Thank you so much for becoming a
This
new
is very
member.
dark.
I really, really appreciate that. And shout out to
Cool.
everybody who supports the channel. I appreciate you, whether you like the video or share, subscribe, or give. I appreciate every little thing that you do. And shout out to my awesome panel, Natasha and Jacob.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here, for getting your
Yes.
channel back. Thank goodness.
Yeah,
Listen.
thanks for being
But
back.
yeah, no, Mary is one of the creepiest housewives ever.
Mhm.
Just,
Mhm.
and I think it's strange that she came back because I was like, okay, I know you're a friend, so you probably won't have to bring up your church. But then on that trip, you get mad at Whitney when she called you a predator earlier on, and I'm thinking, I can't believe you brought this up.
Right?
Like I was shocked. I was like,
Yeah,
Mary,
if
are
you want that brushed
serious?
under the rug, you're not doing a good job.
Mary is she is very scary.
Agree.
She is. She is.
She
Because when
is.
you
She's
read those
evil.
documents and it
She's
talks
evil,
about
and
the
I think
grandma, yes, it is evil. I'm not
it's
even one of those
evil.
people
She
that
has a
believes in that.
very like evil streak to her,
And
where
I
like
think
I feel like she would run you over the car or something.
I think she's working with some dark spirits.
I do too.
And I'm not really into all that stuff because I try and protect my energy. I'm love, light, God, and Jesus.
Well, I'm not into
I
that at
think
all, but I'm aware of it. But
I
some people
think
do.
right. I think she's working with some very dark stuff. There's something very evil and very, very dark
You
about
could feel the
Mary.
energy. Like you just have to be, yeah.
Wait, go on,
It's like there's
Natasha.
something.
And Jacob, I agree with you. I also think that Diana is also evil and is working with some very dark stuff, especially all the allegations about the exploitation and the children and the women and the men and the sex and all of that stuff. I think it's some very evil, dark stuff going on. And I don't want Mary on my
I believe it.
screen. I don't want Diana on my screen. I think there's something very evil that takes it to a different level. Like the fraud, okay, we get the fraud. But I think there's something super dark with the cult and the church and calling herself God, making her grandmother a god, people dying. Like when people start dying and there's cult-like behavior
And there's borderline devil
exploitation,
stuff.
it's too much.
Too much.
It's too much. I don't want that juju coming through the screen. I don't get
Right?
energy jumping on me.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
too many. Yeah, there have been deaths
Mm-mm.
in the church, and it's real creepy how that guy came on the show
And
on
he
that
died.
season 2. Yes,
That's what's very that was
See?
very alarming.
that was creepy.
And I know there's an excuse for it, like him being sick, but like I can't help but feel like there's something. I don't know. It was just weird, and I
I
don't
don't
want to think
know.
about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then
Jacob.
I don't know. And then there was the guy who was receiving counseling from the two of them, Mary and her husband, and
Mhm.
he, I guess, took a knife to himself. That's what the
What?
news said. I guess that's
Okay.
what it said.
Yep.
I'm like, okay.
And there's
And
also
then
there were
there's court
allegations with
documents.
children and like boys, like he would like physically
Who?
like the men
Ooh.
of the church would not SA, but like physically abuse like to make into men. I don't know. I remember hearing the story. It's super
Oh.
alleged, super
Well, honestly,
hearsay.
it wouldn't shock me.
Mhm.
It wouldn't. I don't know what type of
It was
Pentecostal
like a
church
cousin
that
or
is.
someone came forward and was talking about it. I remember.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what it
a lot of her
was.
family has been talking. They've been
It was like 2
talking.
years ago. Yeah.
Yep. And those court documents, it's real scary how that mom really does think that Robert Sr. had something to do with the grandma dying.
I believe it.
Oh, absolutely.
Didn't the grandma even suspect? She's like, if something happens to me, I feel
I
like
don't
I
believe
heard
that statement was real. I don't believe that statement was real, but I think I read in the court documents, or I heard one of the family members say that at some point the grandma had a taste tester for her food.
Oh wow.
And I was like, what?
Not in the medieval kingdom. Like,
right.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Like,
I was
what is
thinking
going
Mary, the Queen
on?
of Scotland. Do you remember that?
Right?
How she had
Yes.
someone try her food? I couldn't. I was like, what? So it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Mm-hmm.
And Mrs. T is right. I think a testament to her character is how she treats wait staff. And the way she's always like, wrap my food up. Yeah, it's like a little.
Yeah, she's been a little too catered to for too long.
Exactly. She's a very nasty, evil person. And I wouldn't be surprised if her and the grandfather got together and did something in cahoots to take the grandmother out.
Right. Well, the court documents
allegedly, but yeah.
Right. Well, the court documents allege that Mary was not necessarily a part of that, but it was Robert and supposedly this other woman who was like the church money handler woman.
The the accountant. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I forget her name.
Her name,
Eileen or something.
Her name was Annie Lois Johnson.
Lois, yeah, I remember the Lois part.
She is supposedly the one who helped him to like forge her signatures, and you know they only had and they settled one lawsuit with Mary's mother for like $1 million and some change.
Mhm.
But Mary's mom didn't share it with her siblings.
It was like Game of Thrones. Their family was like literally Game of Thrones.
It is. Her mother kept it all for herself. I was like, girl, you look real crazy. You look crazy too. You all look crazy.
They all look. No one is innocent. They've been like living in this like toxic environment, and I'm sorry, like they claim the grandma, like rest in peace, you know, but like I'm sorry, if you're positioning yourself as God, I can't get behind that either.
No, that's a cult.
It's giving pretty blasphemous cult like. Yes, thanks.
I'm still very confused at how the grandma even came to amass all of this stuff, because
True.
if you're like, because she founded her church, I believe
she did it within like a decade. Or something, which is like very short time.
She came to Utah from, I believe, Illinois or Missouri,
yeah,
and with nothing. And I was like, okay, but in the 60s, and you're a black woman, what? How? When you barely have the right to vote? I'm just thinking, how'd you get all this? Restaurants, buildings, a radio company, a mortgage company, a church. I'm just like, wait, what? I don't know. I want to know.
I think this is how I think she did it. And I think this is where Mary learned it from. I think her grandmother would like use like religion and whatever she was doing to get people to forfeit over their businesses and their money and their property.
You think she was a schemer too? Oh, no.
I think she was also a schemer, and that I think she was running a scam, and she got, taken out because they wanted to take over the scam.
Goodness gracious.
I think she scammed.
I agree.
Church. I think she scammed to get all of those properties and businesses and all of that stuff, because I was actually just listening to a podcast where there was this woman who claimed to be a psychic, and she would do this to her like very wealthy clients, like, well, you need me to connect with source and I will protect your money and I'll protect that. But you need to give me this amount of money. You need to, turn this over to me. You need to will me all this stuff. And she would target very vulnerable people who had a lot of money, who had a lot of property. She took $20 million from this one woman over time.
Wow.
And I think, and I think that's exactly what Mary did, because remember, actually she did do that, because remember Lisa's friend said that he was in such a dark place and he was working with Mary and either his grandmother or whatever, and he gave over the mortgage to the house, like how much it was. I think that was the
$300,000.
300,000 exactly.
No, I'm sorry, 30,000. He took out an extra mortgage to give her 30,000.
Right.
And then before the season ended, he was dead. A mess.
And I think that was the scam, because you were like, well, how did she amass all of this stuff? I think that's how she amassed it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the way, I'm the connector, I'll protect you, blah, 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 all that cult-like stuff. All you have to do is mortgage out your house and give me the money. All you have to do is sign over your deed and your business to me. All you have to do is give me this, this, and this. That's how she got all that stuff.
That's why idolatry, it will just lead you astray.
Yeah. It's basically, she just did it on a bigger scale. This guy mortgaged the house for $30,000. But imagine you get 10 people to do that, 100 people to do that. People who have more money, people who have businesses and properties and houses and real estate. That's how she amassed so much in my guess. Don't come after me, Mary, because I got the blood of Jesus Christ. You can't touch me. Dude.
Yeah, we got the blood of Jesus Christ all over, and we rebuke
got the blood
you.
of Jesus Christ over us. You can't touch me. But what I'm saying is that's the scam. And they do it just on bigger levels, because like you said, how else did she amass all of that?
Right. Damn. I mean, I was hoping not, but a mess. This is ridiculous.
Crazy.
And then lastly for me, because I actually have to get on another stupid nonsense meeting for this anyway. What Whitney and Justin, I don't know what the hell is going on with those two. But his little company is it's another MLM. It's another scamming
scamming
mess. It is. That's what it is. I'm just like, oh my god, not another one.
It's the only way he knows.
Yep. Another scam. And that's why I think their marriage is falling apart, because it starts with finances. Once the money goes, then the sex goes, then the marriage goes.
Oh, is that how it goes? Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because they're probably stressed
my.
out over money, and when you're stressed out on money, you're snappy, you're irritated. She's not in the mood. He wants to bone, she doesn't. I mean, this is everything they said on the show.
Right. True.
This is what they said on the show.
I just can't. Yeah, I was just like, not another MLM. I'm pretty sure that's like the only business that's out there in Utah, because everyone seems to work for one, and everyone seems to be selling a product of an MLM, like every single one of them. And
I mean, the Mormon church is basically a scheme anyway. It's a cult.
oh,
So,
Mormon! I still
on.
can't believe that.
Come on.
I just found out what they really believe in, and it's very dark.
Very dark.
Like, I didn't know. I thought they were just like, I knew they were weird because I feel bad like saying that, but like, sorry. I knew that I didn't agree with the fact that they're claiming that this person, you know what it actually reminds me of? It reminds me almost like never mind, I'm not going to say that.
Oh, okay, good.
Never mind. But yeah, I was disturbed when I really found out, because they're not Christian. Like, I'm sorry. Like, the way that I found out what they really believe in, truly, and I don't even want to get into it, but like, it's dark. And for them to even claim to be like a part of like everything else, I'm like, no. Y'all aren't the same. Let's not all group us all together.
Well, their claim, because they claim that Jesus came and spoke to the Native Americans, and
no, they think Jesus and the devil are brothers.
I don't remember that part.
I found that out, and I was like, oh, that's.
I don't think they said that in the South Park episode. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I don't know if they covered that, but I was like disturbed. I could be wrong, but I was disturbed, and just the founder is definitely questionable. Like,
he was imprisoned for fraud for multiple times, and he starts a religion, and you follow it. Okay, but you know how they frame it? They frame it as similarly to Jesus.
He was a martyr. Yeah.
Right. Like, oh, they imprisoned him for fraud because he was telling the truth. That's the
people were afraid of the truth, so they must imprison him.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Like, and I'm like, oh, okay. That's a good spin.
I'm just like, okay. I feel bad talking about stuff like that, because I don't know. I just don't want to get into that kind of stuff. I'm sorry if I like said anything a little too much there. I was trying not to, and then it just like fell out of my mouth. I was like, blah, blah, blah.
Because I don't know, because the history of it is very bad. Like how they really only allowed Black people to be priests in Mormonism in like the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, oh, great! Like that's wonderful. It only took 150 years after you were founded.
That's all.
Yeah, it's just like the acts of service. It's like you have to prove yourself. Like, I just don't agree with that. That's not in line with mainstream Christianity. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know. I just don't like when people like call each other certain things, when I'm like, no, that's not, like, call yourself what you like, whatever, but like, let's not, I don't know. That's just my opinion.
It is very strange, but yeah, I don't know. I thought it was interesting to see John's photos of him being on his mission. I was like, oh, I'm actually not shocked that he went on his mission. And then I was doing a little bit more research, and I
love the digging.
I've been dying to try to find out who his parents are, because I'm like, who are they?
I love that. That's always my thing too.
Common name in Utah, like whether you're rich or not. Because, and you want to know why I know that? Is because there was this guy, his name was Israel Barlow, and he had, no one knows how many kids he had, because no one knows how many wives he had either. So I was like, oh, okay, so that's why there's probably a million Barlows, and that's probably why, everyone's related to one of the main guys in Mormonism. Not Joseph Smith, but like Brigham Young. Everyone's related to him. Like Whitney and Heather are both related to that guy.
Mhm.
And I said, oh, okay, but I do think that John's family is like the rich Barlows.
Yep.
And so I'm just like, wow, how
I will say that the Mormons that I grew up with were really nice.
you grew up with Mormons?
Yeah, like in DC, there's a big Mormon community, and I grew up in Maryland. So there's a giant tabernacle there that you drive past, and it pops out of the woods like this gold thing, and you're not allowed in except once a year if you're not Mormon. And so there's 2 families in my school, big families.
Oh.
And I even went to a Mormon dance one time because I had a crush on one. I didn't know what Mormon was. But they had a dance. They had a dance in middle school. And my friend was like this other guy, and she dragged me to it.
But you said it was a Mormon dance?
Yeah, like a middle school.
Like at the church or at a Mormon school?
At like their community center or something.
Oh, you were allowed to go? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And we went, and like I think on the East Coast it's not as like
it's not as
intense. I think it's just not as intense. Where they're like exclusive, like, you know what I mean? They still don't allow you in the church, but I like just instinctually, I just always thought that was scary. Like you're not allowed in outsiders, unless once a year.
What was that dance like?
Yeah.
I just remember like the boys were cute.
Girl, that is not what I meant.
I know. I was like 13.
Uh-huh.
So like I don't remember. Like I just remember I was at a dance. Everyone was white. Like and like they were all
normal?
like, yeah, it seemed normal
is there
to me.
A lizard? What's going on with a lizard?
A lizard?
Yeah, they're talking about a lizard. I think I heard that too.
Wait, what?
There's something about a lizard. Yeah, the Mormon Lizard King.
What
Who in the world?
See, this is too much.
I don't remember that on South Park either.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I almost want to Google that right now because that sounds hilarious.
I think it says, I just did. It says the Lizard King. It says,
it almost came up God, Lizard God.
Worshipping Ripper from the Mormon state who's inspiring a whole generation of skate kids.
It's a salamander.
The Lizard King.
It's a salamander letter.
Joe Smith, who's the founder, hung out with a talking lizard.
Oh, okay. And that's not supposed to be the devil? Bye.
Oh,
exactly. No, it's a
like the book of Genesis, the serpent. No,
the serpent. Yeah,
like it's giving
similar.
Like all signs are pointing in one direction.
It's giving plagiarism.
It's giving plagiarism. Exactly.
It's giving plagiarism, and it's giving a little switcheroo.
Yeah, what in the world? Mormonism is too new to be coming up with something that we've been hearing for 2,000
the fact
years.
that it's a salamander just makes me laugh, though. That's so specific. Like a salamander, not a lizard.
I gotta read the Book of Mormon because I do enjoy reading
about
religion.
Yeah, be careful.
No. Listen, you won't be seeing me on no mission. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. Actually, you know what? Maybe if I get to go to somewhere fun, then maybe I'll go and just be like, I'm ditching you guys. I could play a part.
Oh,
wait, there was apparently like a serial killer called the Lizard King that ripped through the Mormon state, who was inspiring a whole generation of skate kids. What?
Oh.
The salamander letter was a forgery written by Mark Hoffman. The letter claims that Joe Smith was the founder of the Mormon Church, was led to the Book of Mormon plates by a spirit that transformed itself from a white salamander.
I'm sorry, if you are like, say you're like a standard Christian dude, and any kind of reptilian appears to you, I don't know, like I'm just not gonna follow it.
Yeah. Wait, Candy, the thing you were reading, the thing that you were reading said that the salamander thing is considered a forgery.
It says the salamander letter is a forgery written by Mark Hoffman. The letter claims that Joe Smith, the founder of the Mormon Church, was led to the Book of Mormon plates by a spirit that transformed itself from a white salamander. It's giving like Moses with the burning bush was led to
Yep.
the 10 Commandments.
Apparently there was I gotta watch this. It's on Netflix. It's called Murder Among the Mormons. And it mentions the salamander letter.
Yeah,
okay. So I have to
listen,
watch
this
that
is
then.
the thing. It's just a big old cult to me. It's nothing but a cult.
Well,
Let's call it a
It is
thing.
what
it
it
sure
is.
sounds like it, and it's been it's unfortunate that it's been so legitimized.
I see tons of salamanders each day.
I bet.
Like salamanders, to be fair, are one of the cutest ones of the lizard family.
Oh my
Who the
God.
hell is saying that this is a forgery? I bet you it's the Mormons being like, this is some fake nonsense, and
Exactly.
Joseph Smith is the real guy. And
Or like when anything scandalous comes out, they're like, oh, like when the normies find out about something, they're like, oh no, that was fake, and really they low key believe it.
Exactly. It's like when it's like how the founder Joseph Smith and his followers, because the story is that I believe the angel Gabriel came to him and said, "Here's this ancient Egyptian text, and you are going to translate it to English." And people later then asked him, okay, you have this English translation. Where's the Egyptian? So that we can see it.
Everyone knows the Egyptians
And it was
in
lost.
the Bible weren't on
Of course
like,
it was
the
lost.
side.
How convenient.
Right. Joseph Smith said it was lost. But what he wrote down, he said it was a certain dialect of Egyptian, and that's what the angel told him, that it's whatever this word is, dialect of Egyptian. And modern day Egyptologists say that was never once, we've never heard of that. So I'm like, Joe, what you doing?
Joe, what you doing? He's taking some shrooms. He's dropping some acid.
Are you like the secret uncle of L. Ron Hubbard, or like what's going on?
Right. You know what? I need to start a religion. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a religion because I
And
might
you know
as
what?
well.
L. Ron Hubbard was quoted as saying, "You know where the real money is? Organized religion."
He did say that.
Yeah,
I always remember that.
Because all of his sci-fi movies were trash.
Mm-hmm. He was a failed sci-fi author,
writer, I think.
Writer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! All right, you guys, I gotta go because I gotta jump on this.
Yeah, we're getting carried away.
I'm sorry.
All right, I gotta go eat.
Love you guys.
Love
Talk
you.
to you later.
Thanks.
Love you
Bye.
Bye. Love you, Natasha. Love you, Jacob. Woo, you guys, that was fun. So put it down below. What are your thoughts about the Lizard King salamanders, the Mormon Church, is it a cult, and everything else about the ladies of Salt Lake City? As always, I love you guys. Thank you for holding me down. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Miss T. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Natasha. Who else was in the chat hanging out with us? Let's see. Thank you, Jasmine, for becoming a member. Thank you, Rexy. Blah, blah, blah. Anybody, if I missed anybody, I apologize. But I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Be sure to like, subscribe. Tay Tay. Hey, Tay Tay, what is up? Love you too. Shout out to Tay Tay, the savior. Love you too, sweetheart. So, all right, you guys, have fun and always be safe. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Like, subscribe, and share. Love you guys. Bye.